Yoweri Museveni was born on September 15, 1944, though some accounts place his birth a month earlier, on August 15th, in the Ntungamo area of what was then British Uganda. He grew up in a cattle-herding family belonging to the Banyankole ethnic community. His name, Museveni, was inspired by the 7th Battalion of the King's African Rifles, the unit in which his father served during World War II. Museveni was the son of Mzee Amos Kaguta, 1916 to 2013, a cattle keeper and former soldier, and Esteri Kokundeka Nganzi, 1918 to 2001. He grew up alongside siblings including Salim Saleh and Violet Kajubiri, both of whom would later become influential public figures. From an early age, Museveni showed great interest in leadership and political ideas, traits that would shape much of his adult life. Museveni began his education at Kiamate Elementary School and Rwengoro Primary School before joining Mbarara High School and later Ntare School, one of Uganda's most prestigious secondary institutions. His academic path eventually led him to the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, where he studied political science and economics, graduating in 1970. It was during his university years that Museveni became deeply immersed in radical Pan-African thought. He helped form the University Students' African Revolutionary Front, embracing the ideology of armed resistance against dictatorship. His political awakening included military training in Mozambique under Frelimo, the revolutionary group fighting for independence from Portuguese rule. Over the years, Museveni would be awarded multiple honorary doctorates from universities around the world. After returning to Uganda in 1970, Museveni briefly served as a research assistant in the office of Prime Minister Milton Obote. His political career, however, was interrupted in 1971 when Idi Amin seized power. Forced into exile in Tanzania, Museveni became a founding member of the Front for National Salvation, the resistance group that fought alongside the Tanzanian army during the Uganda-Tanzania War, leading to Amin's downfall in 1979. Following the liberation of Uganda, Museveni held several positions in the new Uganda National Liberation Front, UNLF, government, including Minister of Defense. However, political instability continued, culminating in the disputed 1980 elections, which returned Obote to power. Convinced the election had been rigged, Museveni launched a guerrilla insurgency. He founded the National Resistance Army, NRA, the military arm of the National Resistance Movement, NRM, and led a 5-year bush war that reshaped Uganda's political history. In January 1986, after the NRA successfully captured Kampala and overthrew the military government of General Tito Okello, Museveni was sworn in as president of Uganda on January 29, 1986. Her early years in power were widely praised for restoring stability, reviving the economy, and re-establishing state institutions after years of turmoil. Over time, however, his presidency has become the subject of intense debate. While he has won multiple elections, many domestic and international observers have questioned the fairness of the electoral process, citing irregularities and the absence of a level political playing field. Museveni has since become one of Africa's longest-serving leaders. Museveni's leadership has been defined by both significant achievements and deep controversies. Consolidation of power. Over the decades, he has faced criticism for removing presidential term limits in 2005, removing the presidential age limit in 2017, allegations of electoral malpractice, and accusations of pursuing a life presidency. These constitutional changes were accompanied by heated parliamentary confrontations and nationwide protests. Human rights concerns. Human rights groups have documented the suppression of political opposition, including figures such as Kizza Besigye and Bobi Wine, arbitrary arrests, abductions, and alleged torture by security forces, restrictions on media and freedom of assembly, internet shutdowns during key elections, anti-LGBTQ+ legislation. Museveni has drawn widespread global condemnation for his support of stringent Anti-Homosexuality Act, which introduced extremely harsh penalties. He has been accused of allowing systemic corruption to flourish and of grooming his son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, for succession, fueling concerns about a budding political dynasty. Uganda's military involvement in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in the late 1990s and early 2000s led to an International Court of Justice ruling requiring Uganda to pay reparations. Museveni has also been criticized for inflammatory regional statements that have strained relations with neighbors, especially Kenya. Museveni's net worth has long been a subject of speculation. Estimates vary widely, from $50 million to unverified figures as high as $4 billion, though none are backed by authoritative financial institutions. His official annual salary is approximately 33.6 million Ugandan shillings, around 9,130 US dollars. Museveni frequently states that his wealth comes from agriculture and private business ventures, not from government coffers. Because many claims lack reliable verification, any figures regarding his wealth are considered speculative. In August 1973, Museveni married Janet Kitaha Museveni, who has served as Uganda's First Lady since 1986 and is currently the Minister of Education and Sports. Their marriage has weathered political upheaval, including the years Museveni spent in the bush during the guerrilla war. During that time, Janet lived in exile in Kenya and Sweden, raising their children largely on her own. The couple has 4 children. Muhoozi Kainerugaba, born 1974, General-in-Chief of Defense Forces, widely discussed as a potential successor. Natasha Museveni Karugure, born 1976, a fashion designer and the President's private secretary for household affairs. Patience Museveni Rabugo, born 1978, pastor at Covenant Nations Church. And Diana Museveni Kamuntu, born 1980, active in tourism and environmental conservation. Earlier relationship. Before his marriage, Museveni had a close relationship with Winnie Banyima, who grew up in the same household that supported his education. She would later marry Dr. Kiza Basige, Museveni's longtime political rival, a twist that has long fueled speculation about their deeply rooted rivalry. Yoweri Museveni's legacy is complex and deeply polarizing. To his supporters, he is a revolutionary who restored stability, ended dictatorship, and guided Uganda toward economic growth. To his critics, he is a leader who sacrificed democratic principles, entrenched his rule, and presided over widespread human rights abuses. After nearly 4 decades in power, Museveni remains one of Africa's most influential and controversial figures, with his impact on Ugandan politics likely to be felt for generations.